I was talking CY with Seth and Research, trying to put his longevity into perspective. Andy Pa's homer last night, he was 8 when Kershaw debuted.
Wow.
8 years old. If you go through the entire roster of White Sox players, probably a few of those guys
They were babies in
2 or
diapers,
3 years
right?
old. But this moment, Lauren and Roflo, is so big for the game of baseball. I was on the field when CC Sabathia got his 3,000 and talking to him about the magnitude and the story that it tells about the player on the grand scheme of a career. It's just fascinating to be able to accomplish so much over this 18 years that he's been with one team. To your point, Lauren, to do this with one team in the Dodgers, this is a special moment that we may never forget, and one of the moments that makes you question, I know he's the best of a generation, but could you argue, not the most dominant strikeout pitcher of all time, but could you argue that he's the best pitcher of all time? When you start looking at the metrics and you see ERA plus leaders of guys with minimum 2,000 innings pitched, Clayton Kershaw is number 1 on the list.
Wow.
So I take pride in being like, I was one of the guys of the generation who got a chance to see arguably the best pitcher of a generation. And when I think about how that is even possible, with most pitchers that you talk to, all the names that you see on the list, there had to become a time throughout their career that they had to make an adjustment and adapt to the game. You're playing over multiple generations of players. The game continues to change. So let's go through the generations of Clayton Kershaw. Right out the gate, rookie season, 2008 to 2010. If we see, let's go through the scouting report because I want to look at this through a hitter's eyes. I'm going into the game, I'm saying, okay, heavy fastball usage, fastball, curveball. The slider, yes, he uses 11% of the time, but I'm not really worried about it. So I'm thinking heater, guy who can locate the heater and throw the curveball. Let's see, 2008 to 2010, Kershaw was very good on the mound. Let's go ahead and run into the video. He's a guy that you know he's going to be able to elevate the fastball. He's going to be throwing 93, 94, 95 miles an hour. He has extra ride on his fastball, so if it's up in the zone, Carlos Pena, sorry about it, it's going to get by you. And then you have to worry about this breaking ball that's just absolutely wipeout. Let's run it. It's going to be a wipeout curveball. It's like almost a Barry Zito. It starts at the top of the zone, it's going to be a strike. If it starts as a strike, it's going to drop off the table and be an absolute wipeout curveball that you can't see. All right, prime Kershaw, 2011 to 2017. Scout report, we've introduced the slider more into the equation. I think this is, there we go, 27.6% on the slider. He was working with a bullpen coach in 2008. Found a new grip on the slider, says, you know what, I've been practicing this for a couple years. It's time to bring into effect. The league is making adjustments to me. Now let me make an adjustment to the league. This version of Clayton Kershaw is the best version of any pitcher that we've probably ever seen, and let's run it. When you think of how he was able to get the strikeouts up to this level, it's because of the introduction of the slider. He needed something that out of the hand looked exactly like a fastball, but then had the depth on it to fall up under the barrel of the bat, and that is the separator. When you don't have to worry about just fastball or curveball, and now you introduce an elite pitch like the slider, what ends up happening is you become one of the best pitchers of a generation, and you think of the accolades. This is a 7-year period. Think about this. 7 years, 3 Cy Youngs, 1 MVP. I mean, ERA title 3 times in the National League. This is an elite pitcher that if you have him on your team, he is your stopper, he is your game 1 guy. But to think of finishing top 5 in Cy Young voting for 7 years straight. Only 3 people have ever done that, and that is absolutely unbelievable. And you're thinking at this point, we're looking at a Hall of Famer. But Hall of Famers, they have to make adjustment. At some point, the velo is going to drop a little bit. You're not going to be able to throw 94, 95 your entire career. So we need to get to some wipeout sliders, and we're going to go through the look of a curveball and a slider. You have 2 elite pitches. You should have the curveball that's wipeout. You have the slider that looks like the heater. It drops under the bat. But as I go later in my career, if I'm Clayton Kershaw, what does this third version of me look like when I don't have the same velo to keep guys off balance? Now I'm going to become a slider first pitcher. Leading up to this point, he's fastball first and then going to his secondary. Now he's throwing 90 miles an hour from 2018 to 2025 and still continuing to have so much success in the game, and that's the biggest adjustment that he's had to make throughout his career. But to do that for a 7-8 year period with longevity is one of the most impressive things that I've seen. And you've seen some other lefties who introduced the cutter. His slider was the one that was the offsetter. And let's get through a few pitches from 18 to 25. And as we run through these, the arsenal is the same. The biggest thing is just that he doesn't have the heater anymore, so he has to use the breaking ball a lot more to make the heater look a little more dominant once you get into there. But let's go through the most notable strikeouts. Strikeout 1, Carpenter. He said it was something that he had never seen before, that extra giddy up on the fastball. Strikeout 1,000. Oh, yonder Alonso. We saw him last night on MLB Tonight talking about 2,000. Villar. Another heater, but last night, the 3 strikeouts, he went back to the well, understanding he didn't have the velo, able to expand the White Sox with the breaking ball 2 times, and for him to get this call right here in this moment, the blood, sweat, and tears that have gone throughout his career to get to this point, it seemed like it all overflowed in this moment, and Clayton Kershaw has joined an elite group of lefties with Sandy Koufax, Steve Carlton, Randy Johnson, and most recently, CeCe Sabathia, all guys who are in the Hall of Fame, and Kershaw is well on his way. Congratulations, Clayton Kershaw, for joining an elite group. Roflo, Lauren, this is amazing. This is a big moment. We're not going to see this too many more times, so we got to take this in.